We are live, and let me refresh and make sure we have no echo or no difficulties. And we are good. YouTube set. All right, let me see who's here in the chat. We tried to start a little bit later to see if that helps out a little bit. The man misinformation in hand. What's up, Omar? Who thumbs down the live stream before it started? Exactly.
Haters.
Exactly. Who has a Hustlebee OnlyFans link? That is
Exclusive.
private. Kevin, Browntown Fines, Josh Brown, Miss Cam, B Grew. And more people coming on. So today we have 5 tips to mastering your business mindset. Now, this also has to do with our boy Tony Robbins.
Oh.
So a little mix in there. I want to see what Pastor B thinks about this.
Wow.
So he might just let loose and go off.
I'm ready.
He's
you're
ready.
ready. Monday, so restart for me.
Yeah, like get that Monday mindset on there. Big Money Mo, what up? Astro Drip, what up? Fatima, hey. And Hawaii Rams fan, aloha. All right, more people coming in. Before we start, a couple of things. How was your weekend on sales? Did a little bit better. It's been improving. People are going back to school, going back to work a little bit. We're seeing that little change. I like that. So we're already end of the month, and we're getting into August. So it's coming up quick. John, what's up? Aaron, what's up? And sourcing also has been improving. Ross has been getting some random stuff. We've gotten some jackets, Nike jackets, high-end jackets, backpacks, things like that. B disappeared. He's also on mute. So we'll see when he comes back. And so that's good. That's also a good sign. Nothing on shoes yet, but jackets and backpacks, things like that. I also saw random NFL jerseys, but like Julio Jones, and I guess people don't even play for the team anymore. I don't know. Ross starting to get those. So also I wanted to talk about thanks for the support on the Thursday videos, talking about some of the old Jordan finds, the outlet stuff, that thing. Those videos have been doing really good. And really just wanted to try something new to see how that's been doing. We've gotten new subscribers too that are definitely into it. They don't watch the Ross videos or don't really care to hustle, but they'll watch the Jordan videos and outlet finds and things, outlet history, those for Thursday. So appreciate everybody watching that. Let me see, John and Kevin, what up? Pastor B, Brother Glenn, Hustle in Silence, what up?
What up?
Let me see, should we hold retros or lower prices? I would say no. I think you're going to do well for Q4 time.
Yeah, retros are Q4 money.
Yeah, retros will do well. All right, here we go. Now, 5 tips to mastering your business mindset. Now, number 1. Now, the thing is, we've had doubles and here and there, like don't give up, things like that. That's not going to be in this list, but we do get some similar ones, but at least we kind of like change the topic on personal experiences and things like that. So, all right, number 1, learn how to execute. Now, the reason why they brought this one up for number 1 is because it starts with you and your own mindset. So Tony believes knowledge is potential power, but he would take execution 10 out of 10 times over knowledge. And look, some people just don't have it in them. And you could watch all the Hustler Hacks videos you want.
Right.
You can join Level Up. You can DM the B. You can do whatever you want. But unless you actually go out there and put in the work, you have to execute it. You have to figure it out. And this is what happened even when B first started. I mean, B sent me an email. He was interested in getting into this. He had seen all of the Hustler Hacks videos, Skyped, talked to him, and really you could have just ended it there, right? You could have been like, yeah, that was cool. I went to my first store. I didn't find anything. I'm done.
Right.
and not
Right.
actually execute anything.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. I mean, I was in execution mode when I called Glenn. I was so committed to it already because I was sitting at the outlet parking lot when I called him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was ready, right? I was halfway there. It was like it literally took, Glenn to kind of like pretty much calm my nerves down, during this point because I was like, high on adrenaline rush already and stuff like that. And he's like, just go try it. Look, worst case scenario is like you'll return it, you'll make mistakes. But I definitely 100% agree on that statement that he'd rather take execution over knowledge or information. Because here's the thing, a lot of the things that we actually that would actually stick, the lessons that actually stick are actually lessons or knowledge or information that we didn't read. It's actually a lot of those have been applied,
Yeah.
right? That's why we say lesson learned, right? You have to go through. That's why experience weigh a lot more for me than education, because you could have all right, you could have all the doctorate degree that you have, and if I talk to a doctor and the doctor's like, okay, I've done this surgery 1,000 times, and then the other doctor says, I'm top one in my class, but I've never done any of this surgery yet,
Yeah.
you gotta pick me. I'd be like, nope. I'll go to that guy, even though he wasn't top of his class. That means he's still practicing after 1,000 surgery, after even 100 surgery. He's still there. He still has his license. What tells me is my choice is still based on his experience, because that dude knows what not to do at this point.
Yeah.
He's learned all his lessons. So 100% the execution, because after execution, that will bring experience, and come experience, then I would say, there's information and education and knowledge in all of those experience. So 100% you have to execute.
And I think, well, we've seen it when we've gone to out hustled and meeting people in real life. And
Mhm.
look, I enjoy it. You're telling me like, man, because of your channel, I did this, I did that. I appreciate it, but I take this much, in that, because you have to do the work more than
Mhm.
anything. You can watch all the videos you want, and maybe I introduced it, to
Mhm.
maybe you didn't
Right.
know some of
Mhm.
these stores were out there, or maybe some of the things you could find to resell. But really, all the credit goes to you in taking action. Like, I'm not, I can make videos. That's not going to mean Brian, is going to go out there every day and find stuff. Miles and
Right.
Resell Freak, and they're putting in the work every single day. Like when they ask, when is Ross gonna restock?
Mhm.
They like, doesn't matter. I'm going every single day, like
100%.
putting in that work and executing. So,
Yeah, it's what matters ultimately, really, man. What you execute.
and the thing is, what I say a lot, like some people just don't have it in them, because I'm pretty sure you guys have done it in the chat where you have a friend, you have family, maybe they're struggling a little bit paying off bills or student loans and things
Right.
like that. And they're like, hey, can I want to do what you do.
Hmm.
Like, that seems fun.
Right.
Going out there to stores, going to Ross and stuff, finding stuff. That looks fun.
Hmm.
Teach me a little bit.
Right.
And then you can teach all you want. You can give all the notes. You can do everything you want to do, and try to, lead them that way. But once they try to execute, you're going to find out real quick. Either they have it in them or they don't. They're interested or they're not.
Mhm.
And then you see them kind of, go off to something else. So
Yep.
not as easy as people thought, I
No,
guess.
nothing in
Number
life is easy.
Exactly. Number 2, this one we've talked about, but I want to lead it to something else though. Number
Okay.
2, master one thing, and Tony Robbins was really like on this one a lot about mastering that one thing. He just says that people lack patience. It's great to test things out, but you have to find that one commitment. When a challenge comes up, you switch to something else. So he believes that if you are, of course, committed to that same business, you're like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep growing. Just so many people switch off to something else because a little problem happens.
Mhm.
And really, that kind of goes off to real life, like
Right.
having a family. And are you just gonna like leave? Are you just gonna give up? You're gonna go away? You're gonna try to come back? You're gonna switch to something new? What are you gonna do when problems arise?
Mhm.
And I think this is kind of the same thing, that comes in for business. So it's like your ability to handle issues in business, and they often transition into all aspects of life. And you learn a lot going to the business side in putting away, putting out little fires here and there.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree because I feel like it goes vice versa. Um, if you cannot handle life, I don't. It's hard to handle. If you cannot handle obstacles in real life, it'll be difficult for you to handle obstacles in business.
Yeah,
And because business isn't a plaything, it's not like a make believe kind of scenario that you just want. It's not a custom party. It's real thing, right? So real. That's why I say like you have to be a better person for you to be able to be a better businessman. And if you try to become a better businessman, and if you are getting to become a better businessman, I believe that you become a better person as well. So it goes hand in hand. I believe that life we're always going to have obstacles, but you can't quit life. So whatever you put in your mind or your goal or that one thing that you want to master, it's not like it's like going to school. If you have failing grade, it doesn't mean you have to quit school,
yeah,
right? You just have to you study more, right? We heard that
yeah,
in school. It's like, okay, you failed this test. The teacher never said like, oh, you gotta quit school. You're too dumb. No,
yeah,
it's like, no, Ken. I know you're more capable than this. You just didn't study. Same thing with business. It's like, why did I miss that opportunity? No, because you were sleeping, literally sleeping on that opportunity. You weren't paying attention that there was this drop this weekend, there was a restock this weekend, so you weren't doing your due diligence. So you weren't doing enough. That's what it is. I think that's what it boils down to. You just didn't do enough. So next time around, do better and do more.
And I would say, so it says, mastering that one thing, people lack patience. And what about even your patience, maybe for other people, that maybe a business partner, maybe a spouse, maybe, I mean, that also comes into play on building that patience with somebody, not also giving up on somebody if they're going through something as well. Kevin, let me see, I'm trying to graduate from Motivation Monday University. Let's see, Ja, what's up? Chris online from Kentucky. Mendes finds some people won't even try to source online from the comforts of home. Now ask them to source multiple stores in a day. Good luck.
That's true.
Smooth sailing. What's up? And Fatima agrees. All right. Number 3. Oh, Big Money Mo says facts. People ask me for business advice. Then I ask them about personal habits, and they'd be like, what does that have to do with business?
No,
Shake
that's
my head.
good.
That is a good. What do you think about that, B?
I mean, if you can't show up for something on time, I don't think business is for you,
True.
right? Because let's put it plain and simple. Store opens at 9, you get there at 9:05, 9:10, you're toast.
Yeah.
Big Money Mo beat you. I beat you. I'm there at least 30 minutes before, especially during the sale weekends. You have to be first in line. And if you have a bad habit of always late in your personal life, you're I definitely 100% would lean more into that. You're gonna carry that bad habit into your business.
Very true. Hustle and muscle. Hit that like button. Appreciate that. True or false in the chat? If your car is a mess and your house is a mess, or let's say you're living with family, things like that, and your room's a mess, is your inventory a mess? True or false? B, what do you think?
Dude, Big Money Mo said it. Your business, I believe, is a reflection because your business is actually just a small part of your life. If you think about it, there's a lot more important things, right? Your family, your relationships, your just your habits, right? So it would be hard to keep a on point inventory system, and you can't even fold your clothes. You can't even do your laundry. You can't even do wash the dishes, or simply just wash your car or take care of your car.
Yeah.
Like I made the ultimate sacrifice and said I don't want to wash my car, but I want to pay $30 for unlimited car wash.
Mm.
My car is always clean because I spent $1. So it's either you do it yourself or you sacrifice $1 a day to get your car clean. That's me. It's just been a habit that I've seen my dad do, and I've seen him be successful in what he does in his life, his relationship with my mom, with our family. And I'm like, okay, I don't think that's a bad habit. I don't think that's a habit that would hurt if I adapt it. So, we learn things from different people. So it's like his car's always clean, spot on, no crumbs, no dirt, no stains. And so I adapted it, and then it becomes your habit, becomes your mindset on things. When I see clutter in inventory, I see wasted opportunity. So, it's just something that goes hand in hand. And that's really why we're doing this, the Mindset Monday, because it's business, but it's really beyond more business. It's actually trying to level up your inner self, your mind, your thinking, and 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 eventually it will carry it throughout whatever you do.
Yeah, and I like also just sharing ideas and different mindsets, viewpoints, things like that. And that's why I like asking these questions in the chat, because we got a lot of truths, and then we got really good falses. Because Fast Eddie, my inventory looks way better than my room. Now this is interesting because I've also fallen to this point, especially in the very beginning, to where like I'm so busy to where like, and I'm so focused on the business aspect to
Hmm.
where I don't care what I'm wearing. At one point, it was just like the same black shirts over and
Hmm.
over again,
Right, right,
the
right.
same shorts, the same shoes. I don't really the haircut. Hair was all
Yeah,
wild. Barely showered. Okay,
yeah,
fine. I
right,
showered, but you're so focused that it's like, all right, this is the priority, and yourself. It's kind of going second, which isn't the greatest,
right. Hmm.
but you are dedicated to that craft. Trackstar saying false because that's me and my inventory is on point. I prioritize my business first.
Yes, I agree on that point of view because I've been there too. I've had an apartment that looked like a warehouse, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the best way and the healthiest way to go on with your whole business forever.
Mm.
I believe it's a season, right? There will be a season that everything will be a mess because you're taking advantage of this one opportunity.
Yeah.
Give me an example. Quarter 5 and quarter 6. It's a joke that's been going around. It's
Yeah.
it's post 2020 pandemic, first quarter of this year and second quarter of this year. Our house was a mess.
Mm.
We got into a point that we had to sit down. Me and my wife sit down. Something has to give, right? Something has to give, right? But I told her I don't want to give up the momentum and the opportunity that we have in our business right now. So what we did is we got a laundry service, and then we got a meal delivery service.
Mm.
In a week's time, or even 2 or 3 days times, we're all caught up.
Yeah.
So that saying is it's not impossible to get caught up with things. That's why I said for 2 weeks it went crazy and wild. But what I realized is actually my headspace actually it was taxing me more seeing clutter around me and not taking care of it.
Yeah.
I was more of like I was uneasy. But dude, trust me, it was $2 a pound for wash and fold. I think we paid $120. That means like 60 pounds of laundry in one day.
What?
And then it came in within 24 hours. Fresh, folded, and I was like, done. I was like, wait, that was easy, right? So it doesn't mean that it has to stay that way, right? That's why I say there's always going to be a solution, but there's going to be an offsetting sacrifice.
Yeah.
Well, and during that time, $120 was one pair of shoe out of the 30 pairs I sold in one day.
Yeah.
So it was worth it because ultimately I was taking care of my home and my headspace because I wasn't stressing the dishes, everything. And whenever I was hungry, I had meals ready to be heated up in 3 minutes and I was good to go. I wasn't spending 10, $20 on different restaurants getting delivered to me. So ultimately, it was a sacrifice, but not really because instead of paying $20 for DoorDash, $30 for DoorDash, I had like $7 meals delivered to my house.
Yeah.
So, there's always going to be a solution for each obstacle that we go through. It's up to you if you want to live that way because we live in a world where technically there's all the solutions we want.
There is, and the thing is too is like everybody wants everything now, right? Fast.
100%.
So fast paced. Big Money Mo says, yes, long term, you got to get everything organized and neat. But when you're on growth, there's no time to clean cars. I'm on point, laundry, shower, gym, nutrition, though, which is very important. Talking about health, we talked about things like that. And so, yeah, when you're on point, especially during Q4 time, like things are going rapid fast. You got to get shipments out. You're adding in new inventory. Post office, UPS, right. You're figuring out delivery or you're taking it. Something's going on. And yeah, there's just so many things. So yeah, very important to get that going. But interesting take from the chat on the true or false. Right, so I do like that. All right, William Perry, what's up? Hustle Crow. Next, number 3, be obsessed with adding value. How can I help others and continue to build experiences and value? We talked about this one last time, helping others and all of that. I want to take it further. I want to change it a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay.
Be obsessed with adding to your listed value.
Oh.
How about that a little bit?
Dude, I mean, I don't care if people get sick of me talking about it, but your listed value is proportion to the money or sales or profit that you're going to make, right? Put an example. If you're running on a 50% profit business and you have $1,000 in value, I could assure you sometime in the future, you'll make $500 in profit, right? But don't be telling at me that you want to make $10,000 in profit, and it's been 6 months, and you still have $1,000 inventory.
Yeah,
that's insanity, right? You want to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So either you raise your profitability or you add more inventory to get to your next level. Now, that is life too, right? What's the value that you add to other people, right? Because I believe relationships with other people and connections are like banks. You have to deposit into them before you can withdraw favors from them.
True.
Right? Whether you're doing it genuinely or you're just faking it, but I'd rather you do it genuinely. There will be a time that you can withdraw from those deposits that you have made in this certain people. There won't be an easy favor that you're going to get from employees, manager, if you haven't even bought them donuts. If you haven't even said nice compliments to them. You just walk in there cold and feel like you're entitled for a hookup. That's not the way life works. That's not the way business works. That's why red tape got invented, because people went overboard with over depositing things, paying money under the table just to get something in return back. But the best way to go around it is like, yeah, do it the most genuine way possible that you can do, and again, add value to the relationships that you're trying to build before taking value from it or withdrawing something. And also in your inventory, right? I can't say like, oh, I want to make 100,000 this year and I only have $30,000 in inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So I think value is everything in life and in inventory.
Yes, sir. And Vintage Profit says, I ask myself all the time, or ask myself how much money would I have if everything sold overnight? If it's too low, I have work to do.
Yes, sir. Right.
And so one of the things for Level Up was us really pushing on the listed value to get these results. I mean, we've seen, what are some of the bigger stores, that we've seen as far as like, Resell Freak, really good. And Price Assassins, and we're talking about 6-figure and Astro Drip, and really great inventory that's keep pushing.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's insane on the growth, and some of the people that we've seen that jumped, like you were saying, from that 25,000, 30,000, and they're at 50,000. They saw that change from 25 to 50 and how much more they were shipping out, how much more they were sourcing. Like, man, this is like really starting to build up. Mm-hmm. And so it's crazy. There's Brian. So went from 8K to 50K store value with Level Up. So Brian was one of the prime examples of seeing that growth on there. What about your growth what was the highest your store value had been at one point?
I had 300,000 in inventory at one point.
300,000. And the interesting part that we always tell people all the time too, when you hit that certain level, when you hit 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, how many items are selling per day? And for you to replenish those items, and then if you plan to grow it and you want to hit 400,000, how much more inventory you got to add after that?
Yeah, 100%. I hit it. I believe that was 2019 of Q4. I hit it. That was the hardest push. We barely did anything in 2019, right? We didn't travel. I think eBay Open was the only thing that we did. We didn't do our hustle. We were so honed in, so focused, got there, and then, came out of Q4, and I was down to 250. Great. It was expected. And then shutdown happened, right? Yeah. And I was like, man, I'm still trying to recover from it. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I shoot for the stars, because now I'm like, okay, even though if I don't find anything for the next 5 months, I'm good. I'll be taken care of. So at the end of the day, your listed value is your insurance policy of your income. Yeah. So it's always been like the focus. And then that's why I say, right, how's your sales? Like, my sales are down, but I haven't listed anything in the last 2 weeks. So they go hand in hand, and so is life, right? If you haven't taken care of yourself, you haven't taken care of your health, you haven't cleaned your house, what are you going to expect? You're going to have a crappy life in 2 months, 3 months down the road.
Brandon says, do you have extra insurance to cover your inventory?
Yes, I have the renter's insurance and the business insurance, and then the person that owns the house has insurance as well. So kind of just like, triple coverage. It's surprisingly not that much than what I thought.
Big Money Mo, it must be nice in Ohio where donuts build connects.
Yeah, it's just a dozen per person per week.
Astro Drip, as soon as you list it, you just paid your future self.
That is correct. That is true as well.
What's good about the listed value too is, of course, always playing with the numbers and seeing like we've said it before too, if something ever happens and if I have to discount something to where, man, I really needed this money because an emergency happened or hospital or something happened, I know I can sell these items because they have that worth to it. So when you have that listed value, it keeps building up. You're not here adding $5 products, $8 products,
Mm.
even, our boy Jake. Well, what am I going to do with $10 profits?
Right,
He
right,
says it himself.
right.
So
Because
you're adding in great value, great
Mhm.
inventory. It's going to keep going up and up and up, and you're going to see those sales explode.
Right. Worst case scenario, I've always said like, oh, you don't have savings, yada yada. Imagine if I run a 50% off sale in my store, I'll have 100,000 by the end of the week.
It'd be crazy to
Why?
have
'Cause
everything on sale.
Who wouldn't buy a brand new Vapormax for 100?
Yeah,
Who
true.
wouldn't buy Dunks for 180?
Yeah,
Right. So that's how the way I look at it. It's just I'm just collecting inventory that will eventually will grow in value, or if I have to get the money, I'll be able to get it.
yeah. Very true. Let's go to number 4. Oh, Price Assassins. What's up? SA. List higher, go home. All right, number 4. Master the skill of influence.
Mm.
Now, this is a little interesting. Your quality of life comes down to your own leadership, especially when you're trying to live life on your own terms, which is what we're trying
Trying
to
to
do.
live.
We don't have the 8 to 5, the 9 to 5. The first person you must influence is yourself. In order to influence other people, you must already know what influences them, because everyone is different. You can't influence someone the way you would like to be influenced. And this goes to when, let's say, hiring somebody to help out with a business. Let's also put being a parent and or, let's see, husband, wife, things like that, working with a spouse and things like that, how
Mm.
to influence someone. So in this case, it's saying influence someone to where they raise up their level when you're not around.
Mm.
Now this is interesting because I can kind of see, with your wife, because you guys are working a lot, she's
Mhm.
shipping or taking photos and things like that, kind of thinking like that same B mindset. Even when you're not physically there, you're out there sourcing, and the way you would approach it, I feel like she has that influence and growth from you, from the way you've, talked with her. Communication always key. I
Right.
think that's very important.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the way you want to kind of like design a business really, because ultimately, right, we can't go 100 miles an hour for 20 years. There will be a breaking point,
Yeah,
right? um, Although we can take breaks here and there, but if we want to aggressively grow, there will become a point that you're going to run out of time, right?
yeah,
And so that's what I always one thing that I always remember that I keep telling my wife is like, and she's like, why do I have to know everything, right? And I always say like, well, because ultimately, even if I'm not here, I want you to be able to run this business, because at the end of the day, this is your business too. This is
yeah,
not my business, just my business, right? And I said, and also too, once you know everything and running this business, and kind of like, you know, we're in the same page on how we want to run this business, ultimately we can hire a manager for this business that you can influence on how we wanted to run this business,
yeah,
right? Because you have to duplicate yourself, meaning duplicating yourself in task that doesn't require the mastery that you have gained. Perfect example, I'm not trying to duplicate myself and replace myself with another sourcer, with
yeah,
somebody that buys products. I am the best in buying products in this business right now. So I wouldn't want to replace the best and the most important thing in this company. I want to replace something that's not, you know, that doesn't have a high skill requirement. Example, shipping, listing, taking photos, cleaning up the inventory system. Yes, it takes skills, but not as much skill as a person that decides the business decision. So, and that's why CEOs are one of the most highest paid people, because they have to make all this decision. So you have to, however you wanted to live your life, you have to show it in a way that people are going to be impacted about it, with it, that they want to live their life like that or run their business like that. Because ultimately, if you want success, that's how you have to do it.
Success and happiness. And we
Right.
say communication is key, because
Mhm.
the way you're going to influence other people, whether it is personally or business or through business,
Mhm.
it's going to come down to how do you talk with them? How do you communicate? How do you influence other people? We've seen the wrong way, we've seen the right way.
Right.
I want to see in the chat, how many parents do we have? How do
Mm.
you influence your kid? Do you push them a certain way to do certain things that you've wanted to do, or are you letting them do what they want to do or make their own decisions? And how do you kind of influence them to keep going, whether that is a certain subject, or maybe they're
Mm.
into a certain sport, or how do you keep them motivated? That's from a personal level, outside of the business level,
Right.
of course. But you know communication is, it's kind of crazy, going through family wise, and how many things we just don't talk to each other, maybe even from, I guess, like the parents or the parents and things like
Mhm.
that.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it goes down. Big money mo, smack that boy. Lead by example, guide as needed, lead by example.
Right.
Fortnite is life for me, son. Says
Exactly. That's how you
Brian.
can tell who's the parents and are not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, um, but yeah, I think, like, even in psychology, there's two ways to change a behavior. It's positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement. So it's what you call rewards and punishment, right?
Yeah.
So both ways can change a behavior,
Yeah,
right? You gotta
exactly.
smack them, right? That's one, or reward them.
Yeah.
And that's how I was raised. I was raised in a combination of both. Although I did get a lot of negative reinforcement because of my own doing, but I knew that it was happening because my parents said, "Here's a reward. Fall behind this line. Fall below this line. Here's the punishment."
Yeah.
So it was either I was going up or going down. So that's actually how I got into sneakers, because my mom said, if you get straight A's every quarter in school, you're gonna get a brand new pair of shoe.
Oh man.
Yeah, and if you fall below 85%, that was my mom's passing grade. Below 85 is failure because you're not even trying at that point.
Yeah.
So,
Man. Let me see. So I like this one. AN, my baby is 4 months, so he motivates me.
oh.
I like that. Let's see. Chris online says, "Be good to them now. They will smuggle the goods when you are in the nursing home."
Hey, that's a long-term investment. See, that's value right there. Add value to them now, and you'll reap the harvest later.
Yeah. Let me see. SA, I wished I raised to work for myself, but now it's never too late. There we go. My wife's here.
Oh, there
Uh,
you go.
the big money mo, parents are raising a bunch of entitled little brats.
Mhm.
Man.
Well, it's like they're. It's like the other way to say it. They're actually not racing them. They're letting other influence of what, maybe video games or social media influence their kids. So
Let me see. Below 85, you get reps. Astro drip.
that's the worst. That's real punishment right there. Getting roasted for wearing, split Jordans or fat Jordans.
Let me see. A big one most is true. B. But those are a great point too. That I know Astro Drip was like, how do you influence your girl to clean the house? That's what Astro Drip said. I need hustler hacks and method. Here's an important thing though. I mean, kind of going off of that, but the most important thing that me and my wife have had communication wise is like, we need to work together, that we have our different assignments and things that we need to do to work together to make this whole thing work.
Right.
So cleaning and or making dinner and or pulling weeds or doing things to make the house look nice, every single thing matters, and there's no like less important assignment or less important person. Like, have to go in and get things done. And it's just very important to communicate the right way. Now, when we're talking about influencing, how I mentioned with kids and things like that, mine was kind of like with how B was saying. So my dad put me in a league when I was in, how old was I? I think I was 14, and I was in a basketball league with 17. It was 16 to 18, which is a weird age. Like, why? Some of these guys are adults. I was like 18,
Right.
and some of these dudes were massive. Like, so I was in this basketball league, and it was on Fort Bliss, which is the military base.
Oh, okay.
And man, like some of these dudes are
You get dunked
dunking.
on?
Yeah, well, I didn't get dunked on. I was on their team, but I was like trying to learn or whatever. Horrible game. Like my first game, bad. Second game, worse. And I was like, nah, what is going on here? I felt almost a little intimidated by everybody being, so much older too. And third game, I remember, man, some guy threw like a bad pass. I was running down court, and I don't know why. I like went for the block, fouled him, and the dude scored. So got and one.
And one on you.
Yeah, on me. It was like, this is bad. And I remember my dad, he was just like, you suck, son, things like that, telling me all this stuff. And I was like, man, trying to influence me to do better, did the exact opposite by telling me that. Instead, it really built like this wall between like, man, I don't want anything to do with this guy, because you're trying to put me down, type of stuff. So, the way you influence other people, it's, even a comment like that could really change someone to go the opposite way.
For sure.
But yeah, it's important. So that's why I like that too. Some of the parents there in the chat. Let's see. Mendez says 2 daughters. Don't put off what can be done today for tomorrow. That goes with chores, family, and school, etc.
For sure. So, that's my dad always said that. Why do it tomorrow when you can do it today?
Yeah.
And I've kind of like paraphrased that saying with us in our household here. We always say is like, do the hard part now. Do the hard part now. And that's what I always, that's how everything needs to be listed within 24 hours. Do the hard part now. Because next thing you know, you're going to start expecting sales tomorrow.
Yeah, yes, sir. Big Money Mo, I have an ice cream truck business. And when I used to drive, I discovered I understood most kids more than their parents.
That is true.
No children, but when I do have them, no Jordans until I see those report cards.
Oh, I like that. You're wearing Crocs until you prove you're worth something.
You're wearing Crocs. Vintage Profit. Oh, man. Vintage Profit says, bring a C in this house and you get and ones. All right. So, number 5. Here's the last one. Own your business. And what he meant by this was details on everything. So if anyone came by and asked you a question on your business, be like, hey, that hoodie you just sold, where do you have them? Can I get one? And you're like, yeah, let me see where I have this. It might be in this closet, or it might be in this box, it might be in this tub. I gotta kind of find it. Details, every single thing: shipping, sourcing, analytics, listed value, your capital, how much time are you spending?
Right.
Feeling uncomfortable during dry season is important. That's a detail, because how are you going to overcome it? You're going to keep going. You're going to give up. You're going to switch to something else. What are you going to do? Your routes, your gas, your inventory. Because everybody says, especially seeing from the outside, selling on eBay, that's fun. That's easy. I could just go to Ross with you and pick up a couple of things, make a couple of bucks. Details on everything. And you don't want to be well, maybe it is good to be stumped once in a while. Maybe someone does ask you a question you don't really know.
Yeah.
And maybe that does also, you can learn from that, and then you know what you have to fix.
Right.
So that's also kind of a good thing.
Right.
But what about your detail-oriented side, B?
Man, it's very big. That's one trigger for me that gets me and my wife into kind of like an argument because I want her to remember certain details that are important, right? Uh, Meaning that if you made the mistake, own it and figure out why, and then don't do it again. And the next time you do it, you that's like you forgot the details on why it happened, and you do it again, right? Like it's just like playing Mario, Mario Brothers. Like you're paying attention to where that owl is coming from and where that turtle is gonna pop out.
Yeah.
You don't pay attention to those details, you're gonna get stuck on that same level. That's why I say, like, if you're facing turtles and owls, don't even worry about dragons. Like that's how I look at life. I made that comment the other day, and it's like, don't even worry about saving the princess if you just keep failing on the turtles and owls.
The basics.
Yeah, the basics, right? So details. I mean, this is why I tell people, right? Like, oh man, returns are bad, yada yada, and I ask them like, what's your return rate? What's your return rate percentage? They don't even know. They're literally complaining on something they don't know anything. They don't have any details on it. I know my return rate is 3.8%. Let's just say every 100 transactions, there's 4 that's going to return. Am I okay with that? Yeah, not bad. 4 out of 100. That's pretty good customer satisfaction right there.
Yeah.
So what's your inventory level? People don't even know what their inventory level, right? Like month to month, I even pay attention to how much drop I did. It's like, oh man, this, and then I'm actually forecasting how much drop I'm gonna have if I don't list more. Right? Those are details. Like I'm very good with remembering things that are important. But asking me about random events that happened in my life, I don't even know. I feel like it was last year or 10 years ago. I'm so terrible with birthdays and stuff like that because I feel like I remember more important detailed numbers in my business more than that. So it's you can't remember everything, but you can definitely remember the important things, especially in your business. If you want to, if you run it, you want to run it better.
I feel like some things got pushed out of my brain somehow. Like
Oh, for sure.
somewhere in between like mid 2000s. Like I don't remember like some stuff. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And I don't have something to do with the business stuff.
Dude.
Maybe like learning more things and then you just
Yeah,
push old stuff out.
your brain is the ultimate computer, right? And I mean, if your computer is not using that application, it doesn't get updated, right? And then we do have in our phone, like my phone says, like you haven't used this app in 30 days. You want to delete it, and I'm like, why do I even have this in the first place? Delete. And I feel like I've set our brain. Our brain works like that. That's why it's like, that's why you gotta keep feeding it good with better stuff, better stuff, better stuff. Next thing you know, you keep deleting the dookie. Next thing, the good stuff are getting deleted now. You have to fill your brain up with something better.
Oh, Rosh Allington, what's up? 2 best guys in the biz. Appreciate that. Let's see, Glenn got hit with the Men in Black 2000.
Probably.
Yeah, just like staring to this. Done. Gone. But the details, I'm definitely guilty of this. I can tell you right now, especially from reselling from the very beginning. I tell you guys all the time, I learned a lot from B, especially from the analytics part, because my goal was just paying off the student loans. I didn't know anything else. Like I wasn't trying to get high listed value. I was just trying to just get as much money as possible. But at the same time, I still worked. So it was like a part-time hustle, but I could have done a lot more on the back end side to pay attention to analytics and a little bit deeper when it came to shipping, organizing, and things like that. I was just on that same kind of like same track without expanding that knowledge out to learn more. That came down the road, learning more from B and also from other people too, other subscribers, that I feel like there's always something to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so many details that come into play. And that's where I think people, once they do try it out, They're like, man, I didn't think about return. I didn't
Right.
think about shipping. I
Right.
didn't think about the difference between UPS and USPS. You know how many dudes walk into UPS and like, oh hey, just came to drop this off. They're like, this is USPS, sir. And they're like, we could take it, but we are not gonna give you a receipt. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like,
Mm-hmm.
and they're thinking about it for a while. And then they don't know what to do. Like you walk into the random place.
No, that's what I
Uh,
would say. It's details like remembering the name of the manager of the store that you go to every day,
true.
right? I mean, if you don't remember, that means like I think he's a pretty important person for your business, right? That's why I always tell my wife was like, what my wife's really good at. She pays attention to details on what they like.
Mm.
She listens to their conversation and listens to what they like. There was this person that's like, we always give Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast here and there and stuff like that. And there was just this manager that's like, like I just love Krispy Kreme more, right? And then my wife's like, hey babe, let turn on this exit because I have to get Krispy Kreme. I'm like, there's Dunkin' Donuts right by the same exit. And she's like, details, babe. She got me that one. So details, like, what? And she's like, Gianna loves Krispy Kreme. She doesn't eat Dunkin' Donuts. So I was like, crap, right? So I was like, that's like lesson learned. All right, you're right. Details, take my own advice. You won, So those things, I mean, little things,
See, there you go, Big Money Mo. Donuts do matter,
yeah,
Big
donuts
Money
do matter.
Mo.
Yeah, so if you pay attention on little things, right, and then you make it a habit, then it would be so much more easier paying attention to the bigger things in life.
Big Money Mo says, if I walked in with Dunkin' Donuts at my stores, I get smoked. Big Money Mo's out here buying cars for these
Yeah,
employees.
yeah, he's buying them houses.
Yeah, donuts. Let me go back up and see. Let me see, Big Money Mo. I'm deep in details. I know license plate numbers of my competitors.
Yep, I know that too.
You know the cars.
I know about
You
cars.
also know that the cars of the managers and employees. That's also important.
That I
You
don't
want to
know.
see who's working, what
Oh, that's
hours they're
good.
putting in.
That's good.
Most Closet, what's up? Great to hear you guys again. How do you guys feel about on the fence buys? With it being dry, should I buy them before it gets dry? Radio. I feel like you shouldn't force it if it's brands and stuff that you're not familiar with. Of course, you have to make that executive decision after looking at comps, doing the correct research. Keep in mind also, we're going for the past 90 days. Obviously, you're looking at jackets, you're looking at hoodies. We may not have that great info because it's summertime.
Correct.
But I think if it's you also have to go, sometimes you have to go with your gut feeling. And sometimes the gut feeling is just like, you know what, it is on the fence buy, but we have the capital,
Yes,
we have the
correct.
time.
Mm-hmm.
We think that it is going to sell more Q4. Maybe it won't sell instantly. Maybe it will sell 2-3 months down the road.
Mm-hmm.
You'll feel better about it. All right, I'll buy it. Some of them, instantly too, it's a bad buy. So depends on the item, but that's what I would say on that end.
Yep, I agree.
Let me see. Of course, I got their work schedule. Josh Hoover, what's up? Roughly, do you know your cost of your current inventory?
Right now I'm at like 50% cost to my listed value. So if I have 200,000, cost is 100,000.
Select Goods just got back from vacay, and all I really thought about is how to make my workflow better. Glad you guys are talking about this. Appreciate that. Select Goods.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's what we had. We have number 1, learn how to execute. Number 2, master one thing. Number 3, be obsessed with adding value. Could be your listed value. Number 4, master the skill of influence. And number 5, own your business. All right. Any questions, comments, the last 5 minutes before we go? A nice quick hour, but it went by quick because we had so many random things to talk about, add on there on top of things. But any questions, any things you want to talk about? Could be from the tips, could be from reselling, could be about, I don't know, anything. B, anything you want to throw on top of that? that you could think of? Not really. You ready for Q4?
It's about time for Q4 prep. August, and like it's my wife's birthday end of the month, so kind of like taking it slow up until then, and then celebrate now, and then we go hard.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the wife's birthday. My wife's birthday's on Thursday.
Oh, my
Wait, your
wife
wife's birthday's when?
30th,
Oh yeah, mine's 29th.
29th.
That's right. They're a day. Yeah, they're a day
Oh,
apart.
okay.
That's
Yeah, you're right. I'll never forget my wife's birthday now. Because
this
I'll
guy.
go and greet her wife, and then I'm like, all right.
This guy. Let me see. Travis Scott, Jordan 1 raffle tomorrow on his site. Be ready. Good luck. Radio. Check sneakers. Rory.
Man,
Q4 right around the corner. Baker
this would be
Brand.
this would be that time that I would win. I haven't won. I haven't won since my three in a row. Kobe Grinch, um, that Ninja Turtles dunk looking ones. Since then, so it has to be tomorrow.
Let me see. Nike not honoring email discount anymore. I think also, I think we talked in the DMs that every manager is different.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I mean,
yeah, yes, managers has the discretion to deny any promotion
yeah.
because they give them that power because of their stock inventory level.
And Aranio, I know we talked in the DMs. You're telling me how, because he was telling me, it just felt kind of weird that some of these managers that I've known almost felt like a backstab because it's kind of like, nah, you can't use this. Ah, you're a reseller. Ah, don't do this. And I was like, hey, B's gone through this as well.
Yeah.
Because you've talked to these managers for so long, and the next thing you know, it's like, nah, you can't do this anymore. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what's going on now?
I was like, what happened? Was the donuts not fresh this morning or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, ultimately is they can try to favor us as much as they can, but they are still held to their job and the job security that they have. So I mean, there was even one point that there was an email going out that resellers cannot get any discounts at all, right? Remember that? And even if I said like, oh, I'm buying this for personal, there's like, oh no, you're a reseller. I'm like, I've gone through that. And all I want to do is, don't spend money there and then they'll miss you.
I think also, it's not personal. I think it's business.
Right.
And, they're trying to save their ass in their own job. It is what it is.
Correct.
But it's just funny because we've seen it all the time too. You show up next week, and next thing you know, you can use the coupon again.
Yeah, they'll let you stack it.
It's like
even one time they let me stack it and had 20 quantity in one transaction.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was fine. Now you're fine. I'm like, okay.
Resale Freak, any news about weekend sales for Nike Outlet? And Big Money Mo says no sale at Nike. Let me see. Josh Hoover, what up? When you get into Q4, do you guys buy inventory that maybe you wouldn't regularly buy? Maybe models or margins less than you normally do?
I would say higher end Nikes, like Air Maxes, with lesser margins. Maybe some I've paid 130 to 170 on Vapormax that I know, anticipating that they would move for 250, 300 during a Q4 time. So it's definitely, a lot less margin than I usually run, but I know it's kind of like around the corner.
Yeah.
That, and, we all know Jordan Retros printed with box. It's definitely a, hot commodity. We've seen it over and over again with all. I mean, for example, Jordan 11s, right? They flood the market, but in a week or two, they're still gone. They still go up. So I think those are good seasonal buys with lesser margins that you can definitely move some volume.
Bigger Brand, 90 plus watching. Hit that like button. Appreciate that. Before we go, Big Money Mo. Oh, Mile High Hustle. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Big Money Mo. I buy Q4 inventory all year cash out on Q4.
Yep.
It's the best time.
For sure. If you got the capital to, to front, that's why me and Glenn said, like, we just gotta be friends with some banks that accept donuts for favors, and they'll give us a 12-month loan, and we'll just pay them next Q4.
Next Q4. Oh man, there we go. Big Money Mo, right? Keep it all year for Q4, says Rory. All right, so there was Monday's video. Tomorrow, we're gonna go thrifting. Our 1-day thrifting video where we find something, maybe we won't, but we will find out what is out there. So I like these type of videos. Just quick 1-day sourcing trip. Wednesday, back at it live as normal, and then Thursday video going to the same videos I've been doing with the top 5s, and then Friday I'm working on a Ross video. So we'll be set for the whole week. Thanks for joining in. I know we had more people as like time went by. I think the later time is better in that case, but appreciate it, and we'll see you for tomorrow's video. And of course on Wednesday, go out and get it.